chosen ones. This message you are about to hear is divine revelation from the throne of heaven. If you are here right now, it is not by chance. It is by divine design. God Himself drew you to this moment because this word carries oil specifically for your spirit. What you are about to receive is not just a message, it is a mantle. It is a holy instruction wrapped in purpose and set apart for such a time as this. This is not content for scrolling. It is a call, a confirmation, a prophetic preparation for something sacred that is about to unfold in your life. There are moments that interrupt your routine, not with noise, but with stillness, a silence that feels weighty, a whisper that causes your soul to pause, a sudden awareness that this isn't just another moment, it's a divine appointment, that subtle shift in the atmosphere, that gentle pull on your heart, that unexpected moment of clarity or tears or trembling. That's not emotion, that's encounter. When heaven wants to awaken you, it doesn't always shake the earth. Sometimes it just stills your soul. Let me speak plainly. That whisper was real. That stirring wasn't your imagination. That private moment where everything faded and God felt closer than your breath, that was Him, not shouting, not demanding, but gently revealing what's next. Because what He's doing in your life is sacred, and sacred things are not rushed. They are not exposed before their time. They are revealed in silence, protected in secrecy, and prepared through obedience. You are not being overlooked. You are being entrusted. Heaven is about to move, and you're the one He's chosen to carry the fire. Before we go any further, if this message is stirring something deep within you, take a moment to like this video. If you felt God drawing you closer in this season, hit subscribe and stay connected. And don't stay silent. Drop your city and your local time in the comments. Let's watch the remnant rise from every corner of the earth. To every faithful giver using the link pinned in the comment section or Super Thanks feature, your offering is more than generosity, it's spiritual agreement. You're not just sowing money, you're sowing surrender. You're saying, God, I align with your will. And because of that, expect the covering of heaven, supernatural clarity, and the strength to walk boldly through whatever comes next. When God is about to usher you into something holy, He doesn't always make a public announcement. He begins with a private visitation. That's what He did with Moses. Before Moses ever stood before Pharaoh, before the Red Sea ever parted, there was a burning bush in the wilderness. It was in that quiet, desolate place that God appeared, alone, unnoticed, hidden from the eyes of men, but fully seen by heaven. That moment wasn't just a turning point for Moses, it was a sacred initiation into divine purpose. And it was quiet, private, holy. Exodus chapter 3 verse 5 declares, "Do not come any closer," God said. "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." At first glance, it might seem like a small command, but it carried the weight of heaven's authority. That instruction wasn't about sandals, it was about stripping away everything that didn't belong in the presence of God. The sandals represented the dust, the journey, the battles and burdens of where Moses had been. Before Moses could step into who he was becoming, he had to release who he had been. God was requiring a physical response to a spiritual reality, purity, reverence, and surrender. When God calls you to something sacred, He begins by separating you from the crowd. He removes you from environments that once felt comfortable. He silences the noise so that you can hear the whisper. He cuts off distractions so that you can focus on the divine. He isn't trying to punish you, He's preparing you. You cannot carry old dust into a new season. You cannot drag yesterday's mindset into tomorrow's assignment. And so, God strips you, not to shame you, but to sanctify you, because what's ahead requires purity of heart and clarity of spirit. Holy things cannot be handled carelessly. That feeling of isolation you've been battling. That sense that God is pulling you away from familiar places, conversations, and even some relationships. It's not rejection, it's refinement. You are not being forgotten, you are being sanctified. God is saying, take off your sandals. I'm about to walk you into something sacred. This season isn't about being seen, it's about being set apart. The silence is not abandonment, it's alignment. Heaven is drawing a boundary around your life, not to lock you out, but to invite you into glory, into obedience, into the fire that burns but does not consume. Listen to this. Sacred spaces cannot be entered casually. You can't carry yesterday's mindset into tomorrow's miracle. You cannot walk into divine doors with worldly weight on your back. God doesn't grant access to holy places without first requiring surrender. The spiritual elevation you're praying for won't come without a mental transformation. You must let go of what no longer serves your calling. You must drop the bitterness, the pride, the fear, and the doubt. God is not just changing your location, He's changing your posture. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 reminds us, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." That renewal is not a one-time switch. It's a daily decision to lay down your flesh and pick up your cross. It's a process of stripping the old, step by step, layer by layer. Because where God is calling you, your current level of thinking cannot sustain the weight of what's coming. He's pulling you into a space that requires sharper discernment, deeper intimacy with Him, bolder obedience, and a softer, more surrendered heart. You are not being asked to perform. You are being asked to become. You're not just stepping into a new season, you're stepping into a sacred assignment. You're being repositioned, not merely promoted. And when God repositions you, everything around you shifts to fit the new shape of your destiny. So if life feels strange right now, if your circle is shifting, your habits are changing, and your spirit is craving more solitude, don't resist it. That's not confusion, that's calibration. God is aligning your external world to reflect the internal transformation He's working in you. He is making your environment match your anointing, because sacred places require sacred preparation. Heaven is trusting you with something holy. Not everyone is trusted with sacred things. God doesn't hand out divine assignments like casual invitations. He gives oil to the ones who have been through crushing, the ones who didn't run when it got dark, who didn't quit when it got quiet, who stayed faithful even when it felt like God was silent. These are the ones who have been tested in the hidden place and proven in the fire. Because sacred things are costly. They are not for the comfortable, they are for the consecrated. And when God sees that your heart can carry the weight of His glory, He begins to unlock things for you that no one else can access. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9 says, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love Him." That's not just poetic language, it's a prophetic declaration over your life. That means what's coming has never been imagined, not by your enemies, not by your friends, not even by you. God is about to do something so sacred, so unexpected, that it will redefine how people see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. But before He reveals it, He prepares you to receive it, because holy things are not thrown into unprepared hands. That's why your response matters. Before there is a sacred release, there must be a sacred response. God is looking for your yes in the quiet place, your trust in the uncertain, your preparation in the unseen. Can you obey before it makes sense? Can you say yes when there's no applause, no confirmation, no visibility? This is the test of the faithful. Sacred doors don't open to casual seekers. They open to those who respond with reverence, humility, and expectation, even when all they have is a whisper from heaven. So respond like someone who knows that something holy is on the way, because it is. In the Old Testament, when the priests carried the Ark of the Covenant, the physical representation of God's holy presence, they couldn't afford to be casual or careless. Every step had to be intentional. Every movement had to be done in alignment with God's instruction. They weren't just handling a golden box, they were carrying the very glory of God. And when they failed to follow the divine protocol, the consequences were immediate and severe. This wasn't about performance, it was about reverence. It was about understanding that the presence of God is not to be treated lightly. 1 Chronicles chapter 15 verse 13 gives us a sobering reminder. It was because you, the Levites, did not bring it up the first time that the Lord our God broke out in anger against us. We did not inquire of him about how to do it in the prescribed way. This wasn't just a mistake. It was a violation of the sacred. It shows us that zeal without obedience is dangerous. Good intentions are not enough when it comes to holy things. There is a prescribed way to carry what is sacred, and when God entrusts you with his presence, his call, or his assignment, he's not asking you to handle it casually. He's asking you to steward it carefully. God is not just giving you a blessing, he's placing weight in your hands, glory, responsibility, legacy, and with that weight comes a new level of accountability. So hear this clearly. Don't walk carelessly. Don't speak recklessly. Don't associate aimlessly. Watch your posture. Watch your company. Watch your heart. Because the oil on your life is too costly to be poured out on unclean ground. You are carrying something that could shift bloodlines. You are holding something that heaven ordained. So walk like a priest. Move like someone who has been trusted with glory. Many want the favor, but few are willing to endure the formation that must come first. We celebrate the oil, the elevation, the breakthrough, but forget that every sacred thing God gives comes with sacred responsibility. God doesn't pour out his glory on unprepared vessels. He shapes them first. He refines them in the fire. He tests them in the wilderness. He hides them in caves. Why? Because he is not building moments. He is building legacies, and legacies require depth, stability, surrender. David was anointed by Samuel in the presence of his family, but he didn't walk into the palace the next day. Instead, he walked into years of waiting, running, trusting, and wrestling. He faced Goliaths in public and fears in private. He served kings who hated him. He wrote psalms in dark places. He cried out to God from caves that felt more like tombs than training grounds. But it was all preparation. Because the throne David was destined to sit on wasn't just a seat of power, it was a seat of covenant. He was called to carry something holy, and holy things require a holy process. Just like you are not ordinary, you are not average, you are not called to blend in, you are called to carry glory. That is why your path has been narrow. That is why your heart has felt heavy. That is why your soul has been restless. Because heaven has been preparing you for something eternal, not just temporary. God has not forgotten you. He's been forming you, shaping you in the shadows, strengthening you in silence, because what you carry cannot be rushed. You are being readied for something that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and minds have not imagined. You may be wondering, why doesn't God speak louder? Why doesn't he shout over the chaos? Why doesn't he interrupt your distractions with thunder and lightning? The answer is simple, but deeply spiritual, because sacred things are revealed in silence. God doesn't compete for attention, he waits for reverence. He draws close to those who are still enough to hear. He doesn't waste sacred instruction on noisy hearts. He whispers, not because he is distant, but because he is near. And those who truly desire him will quiet their souls to listen. 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 12 gives us a powerful glimpse into this truth. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. Elijah had just witnessed wind, earthquake, and fire, all-powerful manifestations, yet God was in none of them. It was only in the stillness that God's voice emerged. The sacred didn't roar, it whispered. This teaches us something essential. God's most profound revelations don't come in the loud moments. They come in the quiet spaces where faith listens, even when flesh wants noise. So stop waiting for a dramatic sign. Stop expecting the sky to split open before you believe He's moving. Instead, tune your spirit to the still, small voice. In the quietness of your prayer, in the middle of your surrender, in the silence between your questions, He is speaking. And if you listen closely, you'll hear Him say, "Get ready. You're about to step into something sacred." Too many people are preparing their calendars but not their characters. They're mapping out timelines, booking opportunities, and rehearsing for stages, but neglecting the secret place where purity is cultivated. They want the platform without the pruning. They want elevation without sanctification. But the sacred things of God are not given to those who merely plan. They're entrusted to those who are prepared in spirit. And preparation for the chosen ones doesn't start with scheduling, it starts with surrender. Matthew chapter 25 verse 10 gives us a sobering truth. But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. That verse isn't about fear, it's about urgency. It's about readiness. The ones who were prepared entered into what was sacred. The others, though they had good intentions, were shut out. Why? Because oil must be gathered in advance. You cannot borrow consecration at the last minute. You cannot microwave a relationship with God. You must live ready, so don't wait until the moment arrives to begin moving. You've already heard the whisper. You've already felt the shift. You know deep down that something is coming, something weighty, something holy. Now it's time to align. Consecrate yourself. Fast, pray, shut some doors, decline some invitations, go deeper into the Word, purify your atmosphere, protect your focus, position your heart for what's next. Because when that sacred door opens, and it will, you must be ready to walk through without hesitation, without delay, and without apology. Chosen one, hear me, the reason everything feels strange right now, the reason your comfort zones no longer comfort you, the reason familiar places now feel foreign, is because you are not on common ground anymore. You are walking on holy ground. God has pulled you aside, not to punish you, not to abandon you, but to anoint you. He's not isolating you. He's setting you apart. He's not trying to confuse you. He's preparing you. Every closed door, every silent night, every strange shift is heaven's way of saying, "You're not like the rest. I'm doing something sacred in you." You are about to step into something sacred. Something weighty, something eternal. This is not the season to blend in or back down. This is the season to rise. Rise with purity, because compromise can't carry what's coming. Rise with obedience, even when it costs you comfort. Rise with reverence, because you're handling holy things now. And rise with bold faith, because what's ahead requires trust, not logic. God didn't call you for show. He called you for substance. He's forming you to carry fire without burning out. Heaven is watching. Hell is trembling. And your future, the one God wrote before you were born, is unfolding step by step. So don't doubt it. Don't second-guess your assignment. Don't talk yourself out of what God already confirmed in the secret place. Walk in it. Move with conviction. Pray with precision and keep your feet on holy ground. The sacred is no longer coming. It's here. If this message reached into your soul and stirred something deep inside, don't let it stop here. Share this word with someone who's been battling silence, confusion, or isolation. Someone who needs to know they're not losing their mind. They're being set apart. They're not crazy. They're chosen. Subscribe and come back often for more divine messages straight from the throne room of heaven. This isn't just inspiration, It's impartation. You were never created to live an average life. You were formed to carry the sacred fire of heaven, to burn with purpose, to walk with power, and to live with prophetic clarity. So don't minimize what you feel stirring inside. That's not emotion, that's your spirit recognizing divine alignment. Stay close to the whisper, guard your oil, keep your posture low and your faith high, because you are about to step into something only God could orchestrate, and no man can stop.